Welcome back, Roasties. It is round 12 of the NRL, and mate, I'm super pumped for this episode. The reason being is the man sitting opposite me did one of the most unbelievable things that you can do in rugby league tipping. You look at baseball terms, you look at the perfect game. It's bigger than that. It is the perfect punting week. Hammy Goodman, welcome, mate. How did you do it? Let's dive straight in. I want to know, how did you pick the ultimate punting weekend?
Roasty, it comes down to you just got to put the work in. That's 30 years of work and watching too much footy coming to the fore and, making itself useful. It doesn't happen every weekend. It did work last weekend. But as a show, we've been seeing it pretty well over the last couple of weeks. Magic round, I think we got a bit swept up in the emotion of it all, and we probably weren't at our best. The week before, we were very, very strong. I think, I might have had 7 out of 8. You might have had 6 out of 8 that weekend as well. So last couple of weeks, we've been hitting our straps. I did get 8 out of 8. Is it too early to start talking immortal status? Not for me to say. But it was a big week on the punt. It did go very well. Here's hoping we can back it up again this week. Mate, I was pretty fizz as well. So thanks for giving me a wrap off the top there,
mate. Very disappointing you didn't give full credit to the show. But we'll move on. We'll be better as a team next week.
When full credit's owed to the show, I'll more than happily give full credit to that. No, but seriously, Rosie, full credit to the show because you had some results that were not to be sneezed at as well. I think you went 6 from 8.
Yeah, we did. Let's jump in and go over them real quick because you got to celebrate the wins. When we have a bad weekend, we acknowledge it, but we have to acknowledge the good ones as well. So my tips. So Broncos, they started at -6.5. They drifted down to 2.5 off the back of Adam Reynolds being absent for that game. But yeah, the Broncos to cover the start, they covered both of that anyway. The Tigers to cover the -3.5. I took the Eels -7.5, so that was one I got wrong. Dragons to cover. Cowboys head-to-head, which was paying 260 against the Storm, so that was a great upset. Panthers to cover. I changed my tip. You got me to change from the Rabbits to the Raiders, so I thank you very much for that. Again,
you're welcome. Yep.
They upset, and I took the Sharks -7.5. A really bad beat there after they won by 7, but failing by half a point. But yeah, yours very similar with the Broncos, the Tigers. You got them there. You go through them, mate.
I've got them. Yeah, so I had the Broncos, the line there. I would have been happy to take him with that normal line, even though it came in off the back of Reynolds. But that's all good. Got the win there. I had the Tigers at the line, which was 3.5 points as well, so a good win there. The Eels, just took them head to head. The next game probably had a few splinters in my backside here, but I stand by my bet. I had either side by under 6.5 points. I think the margin was 6 points in that game.
That bet, I think, was around $3, wasn't it?
Yeah, $2.70.
$2.70, so can't argue.
A great bet there. You took the words right out of my mouth, Rosie. The Cowboys, with the start there, I took them, and they had that big upset, which is great. The Panthers, I took head-to-head. The Raiders at the line, and the Sharks head-to-head. So that was my perfect week there. But great weekend of footy. And look, we sniffed out a few upsets, Rosie, and I love when you listen to your gut. You're probably the Raiders and the Cowboys there.
Yep.
But no, stuff it. These guys are playing good footy. They can win these games, and we'll get to these teams when we get to them. But I reckon one, if not both of them, could potentially go again and upset a couple of teams. So,
well, yeah, I want to talk about the Raiders because they've upset. I think 3 weeks in a row, or maybe not against the Bulldogs, but 3 weeks in a row. I think I have to double check it, but can they do it again? Can they make it 3 in a row?
I think they can.
So yeah, we'll jump into that. But hey, try scorers as well. We had a monster week with try scorers, which I haven't got written down here, but we've got to touch on. You took Cobbo 2+ on Thursday night. I got to say, Roasty, I was a bit sweaty when Reynolds was out of the team. Yep.
That's when I thought, oh, geez, is he going to get his good quality ball out the back there? But this guy's so good, it almost doesn't matter what he just makes stuff happen. So he got 2. I think that's the 4th time in 5 weeks he's got a double, Selwyn Cobbo. Got to be playing Origin. I backed him. I think when we spoke on this show last week, he was $41 to be the top try scorer this season. Just before kickoff on was Thursday or Friday they played?
Thursday, yep.
Thursday. He was into $23. You can still get him for $21. You maybe just got to be a bit careful about Origin if he does get called in now. But he's only 3 shy of Pappenhausen, who's obviously out for a little while. So if he keeps scoring doubles, goodness me, that's one hell of a bet.
100%, yeah. That's massive to come in from 40s to 20. So yeah, keep an eye on that one, punters.
40-20.
40-20. But the Tigers as well. Ghana, you tipped Ghana.
Yep, $4.
Yep. The Cowboys, I tipped Tommy Gilbert at 675. Jeremiah Nanai, we both tipped him at 340, I think.
Yep.
We have any in the Raiders or Sharks game? I have to go back and have a look. But, even just that Cowboys game, I took Cowboys head-to-head 260, Jeremiah Nanai at 340, Tommy Gilbert at 675. Monster game, that one.
I think Angus Crichton, did you have as well at some point over the weekend?
I don't think I did, no.
Or Stephen Crichton.
Stephen Crichton for the Panthers as well. So, look, some great wins there. A profitable weekend for both of us.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, for all the new listeners, hopefully we can back it up. That's the pressure now is backing it up this weekend. But that's what we're here for. That's what we love. We thrive on the pressure. But if you are listening, head to your podcast app. Please give us a 5-star rating. Give us some comments there. Let us know what you're thinking of the show. And it helps us out, helps promote it. So if you're getting some value from the show, just help us out and provide some value there by giving us a rating. It'd be much appreciated. And thank you.
If you're not giving us 5 stars after last week, you must have just not been backing anything, and you got a bit of FOMO, because that is as good as it's going to get. You look around at the podcast. I don't know that there was too many tipping 8 from 8 there. So pleased to get around us and leave a nice rating.
It's hard to tip, just the winners, but to actually tip the punting, lines and margins and things like that, and actually making a profit is very hard. So, but no, mate, moving on. What do we want to get into? Our favourite segment, or we want to go through some of the games? Leave that till last. What
about our top 3? Should we throw that in there?
Yeah, mate, go for it. Yep. Hit us up. What have you got?
All right. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. I'm going to go with my one vote, Xavier Savage, that try where he just exploded and ran through everyone, basically to steal the game there. I'll be honest with you, Roasty, I chubbed up when I saw that. He's a bit of a show favourite, Xavier Savage. He was quick. He just looks like a little, like an action figurine. Goodness me, great try. 1 vote from me. 2 votes from me, got to be big Jared Wallace. First try, chainsaw for the second time in as many weeks. Bit of the Gold Coast chainsaw massacre at the moment with big Jared Wallace on the loose. So that was elite as well, which I loved. And then probably no surprise that my 3 votes is just going to go to the punting form on the show. I think very hard to look past that, but a big week for the votes there.
Mate, I'll quickly run through. I didn't have anything written down, but I'll just have a quick run through. 1 vote I'll throw to Lockie Miller. Massive on debut for the Sharkies, coming over from the Rugby Sevens. Ran for nearly 300 metres, scored a great try, I think it was 80-metre try. Just an outstanding debut. Shafted to 18th man this week after that, but we'll get onto that a little bit later. But yeah, 1 vote there. 2 votes for the game out in Dubbo, out my way. Love seeing the NRL come out this way and the fans supporting it. It was a packed house there and all the clubs getting involved. So love that they're still bringing games out to the bush. I wish they'd bring more, but I understand the reasons why. And 3 points I want to send out to this guy who was up in the stands on a wet Friday night at the Tigers game, muddy as all hell on the hill. And if you check the page, you'll see a couple of posts of him sliding down the hill in the mud, just having the time of his life, not a care in the world. Unless he backed Alex Twal to score a try, then he would have a couple of cares that he didn't. But mate, he was just having the time of his life, sliding down the hill in the mud, and it was just all the fans getting around him and loving it. So he gets my 3 votes this week.
Looks like there was a couple of fans there that had backed him for anytime mudslider.
There we go.
Down the hill there. That was elite. I loved that. Jeez, it looked muddy there. I mean, I'm a big fan of Leichhardt, but wow, that was a tough slog. So well done to all the supporters that got out there and copped it.
100%. It was was quite a rough trot out there. But great to see the Tigers get a win. You would have been happy about that one too. Both our teams got a win on the weekend.
They did. I got a bit sweaty, Roasty, in that second half. They looked like the Dogs were running to the scoring end there for a while, but thankfully we dodged a bullet. Big couple of weeks coming up for the Tigers, though. They got the Rabbitohs this week, of course, but they got a few games they need to win. Otherwise, I think they've actually said to Madge they need, in about 4 weeks' time, that the Tigers need to have accrued 10 competition points.
Yep.
Otherwise, he could be in a bit of strife. So we're on 6 at the moment. We have got a bye, which helps, but
there's an automatic too.
Got to get a win or two. Otherwise, he's in strife. Yeah,
interesting to see what happens in the next few weeks with them. Mate, let's do it. Let's get into the wheel.
Of course.
Our lock of the week. Our lock of the week. So for all the new listeners, run us through it, Hammy. What is the wheel?
Well, the wheel is, this is to decide our lock of the week. So we've got all 16 players named in the number 13 jersey this week, all of the locks in the NRL. We trust in the wheel. We like to get around the big boppers, the big number 13s, and whatever the wheel tells us, we will back that player as an anytime try scorer, gamble responsibly, of course. We've had a few locks scoring through the season. Josh Curran has scored twice, both on weekends where he has not been come up as the lock of the week. We did have Corey Harawira-Naira a couple of weeks ago, though, in Magic Round.
Bang at $10
too.
Magic.
$10.50. So let's spin that thing, Roasty, see what it comes up with, and fingers crossed.
It's spinning now, mate. And as again, I haven't changed the players, but I don't think it matters because it's gone past Elliott Whitehead. It is at Paddy Carrigan for the Broncos. Now, obviously, just need to double check that he is named at lock, which he is. Paddy Carrigan. What price is Paddy paying to Paddy score Carrigan on Friday night, Hemi?
Paddy Carrigan has been pretty up and about. I saw on the Today Show this morning, he was saying he's ready for Origin. So I'll tell you what would really get the selectors' ears to prick up is if he scored a try this weekend. Now, he is the longest shot for the Broncos here, $13. Ooh. How fitting.
13 for 13.
Wearing the number 13. Wouldn't that make a great doco? 13 for 13. Paddy Carrigan, the try scorer story. So $13, Paddy Carrigan. They are up against the Titans, who have been playing like bastards this year. So, very good opportunity for him to score. Paddy Carrigan, $13 is our lock of the week.
Trust the wheel. Have faith in the wheel. It's come off for us once, and he's hoping.
Doesn't know us anything.
Obviously, no, it doesn't. Just obviously, just a little fun segment, just to pick a lock, just something to get behind. So enjoy that, punters. But let's get into the games, mate.
Let's do it.
Thursday night, blockbuster Storm v Manly. Storm. Double check, minus 14.5, over 40.5. Now, massive Thursday night to open the weekend. Both teams coming off back-to-back losses. So neither team really wants to go three losses in a row, obviously. You have to go back to the middle of 2015 to find the last time the Storm lost 3 games in a row. So, 7 years. Last 2 weeks have had consecutive weeks of 30-plus points put on, which... and just one try for them. So, they're looking to bounce back big here. Storm have won the last 5 straight and 9 from the last 11 against Manly. Have won 13 plus in 4 of those 5 wins. Storm have held Manly to an average of just 9.2 points over those 5 games, while scoring on average 30.4 points themselves. Now, some big news for Manly. Obviously, Turbo's out. Garrick will move from winger to fullback. Georgie, the jukebox Tafua, he comes back in, make his return for the first time since 2020. Look, if you want to talk about highlights and commentary pieces that get used that much, it's George's hit on Cameron Munster back, 2019, 2018, I don't know, but, where Dan Ganane just goes absolutely mental with his hit, calls him the Grim Reaper. Marty Tapau, he's going to miss this game as well. But I have to ask, Hughes is named Hemi.
Yep.
Like last week, he was dropped just before. If the same happens this week, what are you inclined to do, like betting wise, with that 14.5 margin? It's a massive margin, and we've seen without Hughes they've struggled. So, what are you thinking here, mate?
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit wary maybe if Hughes isn't playing with that 14.5 margin. But at the same time, I do think. the Storm win this. I don't think
Yep.
that Manly can do it without Turbo, without Tapau. I can't see the Storm losing 3 in a row. They've won their last 9 at Amy Park following a loss. They've also never lost a Thursday night footy game at Amy Park. So
There you go.
they will have copped a bake probably 2 weeks in a row now. I'm expecting them to bounce back in a pretty big way. So look, did say I was a bit nervous about the 14.5. Could still cop the 13 plus. That'll get you $1.75. And in the terms of a try scorer, I'm looking at Justin Olam. He scored in his last 3 games against Manly, $2.20 anytime try scorer.
Mate, he loves Manly. He has scored 9 tries in 6 games against them. Includes 2 hat-tricks, a double. I like him. I like him this week as well. But I'm with you. Like if Hughes is at name, a little bit wary. But I still think they win. Manly have shown they can win without Turbo this year, but it is the Storm down at Melbourne. It's a tough ask. I like Storm 13 plus at $1.75. And speaking of Olam, he's paying $2.20 just for one. I would look at him every day of the week at $2.20.
We're aligned here, Roasty. We're aligned.
$7.25 for 2. That's my pick.
Okay.
I think he gets 2. If you really want to get daring for a hat trick, he's paying $29. So,
oofed. Wow.
Going all in on Olam. I'm going a little bit safer. I'll take the 2 at $7.25. I think he gets a double. I think they run that way all day. $7.25, very juicy for me. But yeah,
taking the 2. The instructions come from the coaches.
100%.
Yeah.
Now we've spoken about last couple of weeks where the broadcasters have been nailing the 6 p.m. time slot on Fridays with like a, Knights and Bulldogs type of game, but they've
Tigers, Bulldogs.
Yeah,
the Dogs is your anchor.
Yes,
you whack
100%.
the Dogs in there and just another crap team, and you're away.
But they've shit the bed with this one with Panthers v Cowboys, first v third on Friday at 6 o'clock. Panthers minus 14.5. That's a little bit of disrespect to the Cowboys, I think. Panthers are hot, but a little bit of disrespect. Over 41.5 for this one. Now, Cowboys, no Taumalolo. He and Felt is out as well. Massive losses for them. Hammer, in saying that, Hamasai Tabuai Fido comes in and Hess is going to start a lock. So,
pretty good replacements there, aren't they?
Very good replacements, yeah. Panthers are unchanged. I do think, I think the Cowboys run after 6 straight comes to an end here. Hammy, what do you think?
Well, I like your call about the disrespect on that line, Roasty. I think that's a bet for me. Cowboys at the line, even missing those pretty important players. I think they can probably cover that. And you're spot on about the scheduling bungle here. This is a travesty, and I've got to go out for dinner, which I'm very much looking forward to for my beautiful partner's birthday, which will fall right in the middle of this game, but that's okay. That's the beauty of KO. We'll jump on and watch that a little bit later.
So you got the phone under the table, or
No. I like to be there in the moment. Like to be nice and present. So
I'll tell you real quick funny story. When I engaged to my wife the night of it, I was that nervous, and I had this box in my pocket, and it was like digging into my legs. So I had to keep on readjusting it all the time. But one time I was just like readjusting and pulling it out, and it knocked my phone onto the floor, and she saw that and was like, "Oh, we're out for dinner, a nice dinner, and all you can do is stay on your phone." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's all I'm doing is checking my phone." But I made it up to her later on with the massive rock I gave her.
Absolutely, so, big Dwayne Johnson.
Yes, but no, you can't when you're out for dinner. It's hard to catch up with the games, but the beauty of KO, you can just sneak off to the loo or quickly outside.
Off to the Sean, nip off to the Sean Johnson. Have a quick check of it. Now, I think, so as I was saying, Cowboys at the line, that's a bet. Jeremiah Nanai, I mean, how can you not have a quick look at him as an anytime try scorer? $4.20.
Yep.
Big price for him given how he's been going this season. Also, Jerome Luai scored in 3 of his last 4 games, $3.45. I'm loving Luai anytime try scorer as well. So, bit of value in those 2 ones. I think the Cowboys at the line, I like that bet. That said, I feel like they could upset the Panthers here. And this one just sort of rolls into, I don't know if I spoke about this on the show last week, but the Cowboys to win the minor premiership. Now, there's a 2-game gap between the Panthers, and then the Storm and the Cowboys. Last week, the Cowboys were $26. They beat the Storm. They're into $21. If they win this week, you have to imagine that price is coming right in, because the Panthers are going to get rolled with Origin selections and stuff as well.
Yep.
So there could be an opportunity for the Cowboys to make that up. But look, probably a lot's got to go right. I think the Panthers to win the minor premiership are $1.20 now, but that's got to be a Stewie diver, hasn't it, Roasty? I mean, if they win this week, they're a big, big show of getting that minor premiership. You'd think, the Cowboys?
Absolutely. And like I said last week, I was not too high on them actually winning the minor premiership, but at the price, you get them and they go close and you can cash out and still make a profit there. So, and as you can see from 26 to 21, massive. So yeah, look, I'm not counting them out. I just think Panthers at home are very, they went on such a long streak. They probably, want to go on something similar again. They don't want to lose at home. They want to be, have that fortress mentality. And the Cowboys have been good. The defense has been huge over this winning run as well. They're allowing their opponents just on average just 9 points in their last 6 games. So they do, they come up against an unchanged Panthers side. They're not at full strength without Taumalolo. I don't know. I like them with the start, but I can't back them. Sorry, I don't like them at the start. I've got to clarify. I just can't back them. I think Panthers 13+. I think they get the job done. Stephen Crichton, he's been good to me, serving me well last week, and he scored in 2 of his last 3 against the Cowboys. So I'll take him again at 210 this week. So I'm going against you, Hammy. I don't think they hold in that 14.5. I like the Panthers 13+. Big win here. I think they sort of make a statement. Cowboys are up there, but I think the Panthers are just too good at home.
Yep, should be a hell of a game. Looking forward to it.
Yep. Enjoy your dinner, mate.
Thank you.
Mate, a Queensland Derby. Broncos-Titans, second Friday game. Broncos minus 9.5. Over, I'll just double check this Broncos minus 7.5. Over 41.5. Now, Adam Reynolds still out. Broncos unchanged from last week. Cobbo's been named, but he was absent from training on Tuesday, so keep an eye on that one, punters. Brian Kelly is in for Philip Sami and Jolliffe onto the bench. Now, you could have written your own ticket, really, if someone come to me and said the Broncos were 5 wins at any stage this year, let alone after 11 rounds. But here we are. Over the past 5 games, they've held their opposition. It's an average of 9 points. And not just average teams. The Rabbitohs and Manly were top 5 last year. The Sharks are going to be fighting for a top 4 spot. Amazing effort, Hammy.
Yeah, absolutely. They're on one at the moment, the Broncos. 6 of their last 7 games as well have gone the overs. I've noticed as well, plenty of points coming out of these games. So that could be one to look at. Interesting you noted about Cobbo, not at training on Tuesday. But if he does play, we mentioned before, 2 or more in 4 of Brisbane's last 5 games. So for Cobbo to get 2 or more, that'll get you $4.40. For the Titans, AJ Brimson has scored in 3 of his last 4 games at Suncorp. So $4 you're getting for him as well. He always just pops up, even if the Titans are getting pumped generally. So, look, I think the Broncos win this one. I think they can probably cover that line as well. But yeah, I'll take him head to head. And if Cobbo's playing, I'm getting around him for a couple of tries.
Titans have won 3 of their last 4 between these 2. The last 3 have been decided by 1 to 12. They really like to rise for this one. We spoke about Jared Wallace earlier. Did you see the bet that someone shared? Had him at first try score of odds of like 111 to 1. He had $250 on it to win just under 28K. Mental. Wow. Like, obviously, it has to be a family member or something, like if you're backing Jared Wallace to score the first try. But, mate, big bet. I was happy to keep my tip of the Broncos minus 6.5 last week, and I think even with Reynolds out, it doesn't really scare me that much this week. Spoke last week that 75% of the Broncos' tries were of Selwyn Cobbo, Oates, Farnworth, and Staggs, and again last week 4 of their 6 tries were by their big 4. Their odds are too short to back them as a try scorer, unless you sort of take them 2+, which you did with Cobbo last week. But what I've found is the Titans have let in 6 tries in the last 7 games to a half. So I think there's some value here at the halves for Brisbane. I'm tempted tempted just for the name to gamble on gamble. But Ezra Mam, he was great last week, and I think at 340, I'm going to stick with him this week to get over the line, score his first meat pie in the NRL.
Beautiful.
But Broncos to cover the -7.5. I'll take the Broncos -7.5 and Ezra Mam at 340.
Well played.
Mate, Warriors v Knights on the Saturday. Now, Warriors -1.5 over 40.5. Now, it was revealed this week that Chanel Harris-Tavita will be taking a gap year next year away from footy, doing some travelling, taking up some riding. I think it's great for him. I'll be taking a leaf out of his book and taking a gap game. I won't be punting on this one. It just scares the absolute piss out of me. But on gap years, mate, I never went to uni, never did one. What about you?
Yep, I did. I went and worked at a school in Wimbledon, King's College, very swanky over there. Yeah, I did go to I queued up for like 4 hours to get into the tennis, got in, a bit of a sun shower came over, and they said players been abandoned for the day. So I just went and pigged out on strawberries and cream for a couple of hours, had a couple of jugs of Pims and rolled home. But I spent a bit of time over there. So probably didn't do as much riding as Chanel, but I did do one. So I hope he enjoys it.
Yeah, I hope so.
I don't know if he'll do it. I wonder if he'll do a top deck tour like I did as well. Probably not.
Probably
wait
not.
to see what comes out in his journal.
100%. It'll be interesting to see. Look, he's a young fella. Like it's some of these, like I know they get their window where they can do sort of whatever they want at the end of the year and things, but I think the last couple of years have shown, they get stuck, here in a bubble and everyone, not just footy players, but if you can take that time out, get out, see some stuff and enjoy life. I don't know if I got a gap year, I'd probably go to a country and travel from one side of the country to the next. I went to Ireland once and drove around it nearly in a day. It's that small, but I'd love to do that and visit some. I've got some family over there, so catch up on some family history and things like that. So I think if you can, while you're young, get out and do it. But back onto footy.
Good opportunity for him to give his balls a rest as well. He copped a nasty blow there, didn't he? A couple of weeks ago. So get that right for a year.
Yes, yep. Hopefully it grows back. But what do you like about this one, mate? I like I said, I don't know. It scares me. I don't like too much about it, but let me know what you think.
Your gap game remark is a poignant one, Roasty, for this one, I think. The underdogs actually won the last three between these sides, so maybe that bodes well for the Knights at $2.25. They stink so bad, though, Roasty. I don't know if I could back the Knights head-to-head. Maybe this is another one for the Warriors with the try bet comes in. I usually like to whip the try bet out once a weekend. Maybe this game's one for that, either side by 6.5 or less, get you about $2.70. Outside of that, try scorers, with some pretty average teams, maybe those superstars get a chance to shine a little bit at some stage. Ponga scored one last week, $2.35, and Reece Walsh for the Warriors is $2.65. So those are the two that stood out for me.
Couple of notes on the teams as well. Adam Fanua-Blake's out. Tavanga comes on to prop. Otokolu comes into the team. Bradman best elbow last week. I know you hate graphic images, mate, but that was like someone actually put up, it was like an elbow guard on a cricketer. That's how bad his elbow was dislocated. Tuala comes on for him, and Jake Clifford returns as well. So we have Clifford and Milford, the Ford brothers, pairing in the halves for the first time. Look, if I was to have a punt, I'd probably happy to take the even though the Knights, they're one from their last 9. Warriors are one from their last 6. So, toss a coin. But I think for the price, 205, I'd probably just take the Knights head-to-head. I think their forward pack's much stronger. Excited to see what Milf can do after last week. Despite some clear fatigue, he showed some great signs. Adam Pompey, 3 tries in 3 games against the Knight, $3 for him this week. So, my tip is, like I've said before, maybe have a gap game. But if I was, I'd take Knights head-to-head and Pompey to score a try at $3. But for Saturday Arvo, mate, Rabbitohs v Tigers. Your boys are back. Rabbitohs -7.5. Now, this was a cracker game the last time they played this year. Overs at 41.5. Nichols back for the Rabbits. Murray, he may be named. He's in the reserves, so wait till game time. He could be a starter. Luke Brooks and Dane Laurie back for the Tigers. Massive ins. Tigers win the win early this year, but 4 straight losses before that. What's your take here, Hamdog?
Yep, Tigers can win this game for sure. Brooks and Laurie back, that's pretty big. Souths got pumped by Canberra, nearly got done by the Warriors when they clocked off in Magic Round, lost to the Broncos, and they lost to the Tigers in the weeks before that. So they're ripe for the plucking at the moment. The Rabbitohs, I think they're battling. The Tigers have covered the line in their last 4 against the Bunnies. I'd have to quickly double check that line for this one, but I think they can do that. I think they can actually win the game as well, paying $3.
7.5 in this one, yeah,
7.5 points. Yeah, I know that I think the last 3 games between these sides settled by 6 or less. So I know we went try-bet last game. Maybe this is another nail biter. And then try scorer wise, I mean, I just love the man, Luke Garner. Did the job for us last week. He's $5 this week. Just finds a way. And I think even when the Tigers are battling, he always sort of finds a way to get across the stripe. So happy to take him again as my try scorer, Roasty.
Yeah, I like him. Yeah, I like him as well. I had him jotted down. I just think, he's sort of getting a little bit of a purple patch at the moment. So, and if the Tigers, going well, I think he gets over. Now, Souths last week, they had their second worst game in regards to completions against the Raiders. Tigers last week had their second best game in regards to completions. Now, fun fact, the Rabbitohs are the worst side in the competition, while the Tigers are 4th best in completion rate. Now,
really?
Does that equal wins? Obviously not, but when they come up against each other, I feel I have a preference going for the team that's doing better at completing. So Brooks and Hastings back together. Worried that Hastings was actually seen in a moon boot yesterday. But he's a tough bugger. He should play. I think they may have a bye the week after with Origin. So he's probably, looking forward to a 2-week break to get it right. But he was at training without the moon boot, but there was a photo, I think, on his Instagram where he was carrying coffee and you could see him clearly in a moon boot. So, just keep an eye on that one. But, yeah, Tigers, I'll take Tigers with the start here. I even think they probably upset and get the win.
Yes.
Head-to-head at $3 is a really good price. And like we said, Luke Garner, I had him at $5.25, $5, whatever it is. It's still a great price for Luke, who's scored
3 weeks in a row he scored.
There you go. Yeah. Can he make it 4? Let's hope so at that price.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, like I said, I'll take Tigers with the start as the tip, but head-to-head at $3 is, have a look at it.
Yeah.
Mate, the Saturday night game, Sharks v Roosters, Sharks -1.5, overs 40.5. Now, I thought the Sharks at 1.5 was a steal. After bouncing back last week and the Roosters battled against the Panthers, William Kennedy returns. Lockie Miller dropped 18th man after an impressive debut. Satili Tupanua returns for the Roosters. He's been good for us. But yeah, I thought the Sharks were a steal, but a few things scare me. One thing is the Roosters have won 6 straight against the Sharkies, and we've seen the Sharkies got a losing streak against the Raiders, and they've lost 2 against them this year. Consistency is also killing the Sharks. They've gone win-loss since round 5, which means they're due for a loss after their win last week. Roosters have been inconsistent as well, but very even sides, and the 1.5 points here reflects that. What do you like in this one, mate?
Interesting about that kind of bogey team stat there, Rosie. I wasn't aware that that was the case, and that the record was so good for the Chooks against the Sharks. I was looking at that the Sharks have won their last 8 night games at Shark Park. So,
yep.
That's where I was probably looking in this one. I think, I like the Sharks at $1.80 head to head. That's probably where I was looking. In terms of try scorers, we've got this fantastic new database, Rosie, where we've been able to have a look at the stats of where all the tries have been scored. Now, competition-wide, a third of all tries this year have been scored on the right edge, not out on the wing, on the right edge. And the Sharks have scored half of their tries going to that right edge. So with that in mind, I didn't mind Connor Tracy as an anytime try score, getting you about $3.20.
Yep.
And by the same token, for the Chooks, they've kind of been a bit more spread, but if we follow that trend of competition wide, the tries going to the right edge, Satili Tupanua back into the side. He is coming off the bench, but he'll still get out there, and he's paying $5.10, which seems like a big price for him, given that, he's got a bit of a knack for finding the line, and he's been pretty good to us on this podcast as well as a try scorer.
He has. I've got the same notes. He's been very very kind to us. Eight from 11 go. I was going through that data as well, which is why I'm a little bit off my game today. I was up late last night because it was very in depth. But 8 from 11 games this year, the Sharks have scored the first try, while it's only 3 from 11 for the Roosters. So my tip is Sharks -1.5, but I'm going to take a multi here. I love Satili Tupanua, and I get him to score a try. Into Sharks scoring first, so scoring the first try. So that's paying $8.50. So nice. a little boost there. Obviously, one of those things where you could be out in the first try of the game. If you're in, all you got to sit back and just wait for Tupanua to score. So you sort of get a boosted price for him. But that's what I like in that one, mate. I think it's going to be a cracker Saturday night game. These
that'll be good.
Two teams very evenly matched. So. Great one to finish off Super Saturday. Now, the main game, though, Bulldogs v Dragons. Dragons -4.5. Double check that because they can change. Yeah, over 38.5. Obviously, I think the Dragons this week, I took them 1-12 last week, paid dividends, but this is a bit of a danger game for the Dragons. We've got an overall good record against the Dogs. Oh, sorry, we don't have a good record over the Dogs overall, but we have won 4 from the last 6. Talking about inconsistent teams, though, the Dragons are up there. They compete against the Roosters 5 weeks ago, a loss to the Storm, which was expected, a loss to the Titans, probably should have won, 2 unconvincing wins in those 5 games against the Warriors and the Tigers. I'm just scared this is the game that the Bulldogs we allow them to get some confidence. Probably allow them to be in at halftime, keep it close. They might score early in the second half, and then, they're in it all the way to the end, which is you don't want to come up against the Bulldog side that's doing that. I hope I'm wrong, but every Dragons fan out there knows what I'm talking about when this scenario. I hope we smash them, but I'm scared and I don't want to be Hammy.
Yeah, well, I think the Dragons, they got to win this, haven't they? Surely. Yeah. It is at Belmore, though. I wonder if that gets a bit of a rise out of the Dogs, back to the spiritual home there.
Yeah, yep.
As well. But look, I think the Dragons should win. I think they cover the 4.5 start as well, Roasty, for your sake. I think Mr. Lomax, Zachy Lomax, is a special to score at any stage, $2.55. Also having a look at him in the first try scorer market, $12.50. You're getting for Zach Lomax as well. Obviously, Origin spots up for grabs and stuff. He's probably down the pecking order a little bit, but I think he's a good player playing against a pretty average team. So I think he's going to get one at any stage in this game. So he's probably going to go in my trifecta as well.
I just want to so the listeners know, we don't compare notes before we come on. It's mostly just bang straight into it. But I've got exactly the same thing. I've got Zachy Lomax. He's probably out to impress Brad Fittler, New South Wales coach. Like you said, he's a little bit down the pecking order, but he's a chance. So he'll be out to sort of impress him and do something there. I had him at $2.55 anytime, but I like him at $2. At 2 tries at $10. I'm going to lock that in, Eddie. I think he has a massive game, and I do like that. Yeah, I'm going to stick with my Dragons -4.5. I don't know. I can't back against them. That's my heart talking as well. So be careful, listeners. Following me in on that one. But yeah, Bulldogs paying $2.50 head to head. But yeah, look, I'll stick with me Dragons and cheer them on. Mate, the final game on the Sunday, Raiders v Eels. Raiders -5.5. Sorry, Eels -5.5. Over 40.5. Talk about another danger game. This would have to be a punter's worst nightmare when you see them each week trying to pick what they're going to do. But now they come up against each other, which makes it even tougher. What a way to round out the weekend, Hammy?
Absolutely. This is a cracking game, this one. The Dirds are up and about. They've won 3 in a row. The Eels, I think, got a little lucky last week against Manly. They should probably win, given the class and the players that they've got. But I reckon the Raiders can actually upset them. $2.60. I think the line's 5 points, 5.5 points maybe. maybe the Raiders at the start, but I think the Durs can actually win this game. Jack Whiten as well, another one getting ready for Origin. Looked pretty good coming back last week. He'll be keen to have another big game before the team is selected as well. So, yeah, I think the Raiders is where I'm looking. In terms of a try score, a big Josh Papali'i 2 weeks in a row. Can he make it 3 weeks in a row? $8.75 you're getting for him to score at any stage in this game.
Can you do it again?
Like a broken record here, but another bloke trying to impress before Origin. That's Papali'i. And then for the Eels, I've been pretty impressed with, I hate to say because he walked out on the Tigers, but Ryan Madison this season. And he scored a couple of tries, $4.90 to get one at any stage. And he's also another guy I can see sneaking into Origin contention. He's been the 18th man a couple of times. I've just liked what I've seen. Big body, coming off the bench, full of energy. He's like an impact player off the bench kind of specialist. And sometimes those work really well in Origin. So, I think there's a little bit of value there in the try scorers. But, yeah, I'm looking a bit wide there. So, looking forward to this game. Just
a little bit on these ones. So Raiders have only lost one of their last 10 against the Eels at Canberra. And that loss was being the last time they played, a 35-10 victory to the Eels. But the Eels have gone win-loss in the last 7 games. So they really need to start putting some games together here. Raiders 3 in a row. And we spoke about it earlier. They've back-to-back wins against as underdogs, and they've got up. So... can they make 3 upsets in a row? I don't know. I think it's a coin toss, this one. Their starting forward pack missed just 3 tackles in their game against the Rabbitohs. Phenomenal effort there in the middle. But they do come up against the Eels side. Their whole pack, their starting pack, each player went for over 100 metres while putting in a massive effort in defence as well. I'm excited for this one. In Canberra, I think the Raiders put up a fight with the momentum they've got. And I just, like I said, can't split them. So I'm going to take our infamous try bet. I think I like either team under 8 points. I'm going to take the 8 points. Sit back on Sunday, enjoy a close game at $2.20. That's what I'm taking in that one, mate.
Beautiful. Love it. Big round of footy. Looking forward to
big round of footy.
That.
Can we back up? Hopefully, our tips, we can back ourselves up from last week after a monster week. But that
Absolutely.
is...
I've got a trifecta for you as well, Roasty.
Yeah. Let's get into the trifecta.
Now, I've kind of haven't stuck it all on the Saturday games. I've kind of spread them around a little bit, but
I've mixed it up as well. So I think we, as much as the Saturday trifecta was a good idea, I think we just make it a weekend trifecta.
Yeah, well, great, because that's what I've gone with. And the ones I'm going with is Lukey Garner at $5. The price, just a little bit too much for me to ignore there against the Rabbitohs. So $5 he's going in. Satili Tupanua off the bench as well for the Chookies against the Sharkies at $5.10. And then Zachy Lomax against the Dogs at $2.55. Now, this is a big one. You're getting $65 for this. Ooh. So don't go nuts. But, I mean, that's worth a little Guy McKenna, isn't it? Or a Stewie Diver at the very least.
What's a Guy McKenna, a tenner. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm crossing codes there.
Yeah, but,
$10 or $5. Don't go crazy. But I think that's enough to keep you interested. Those blokes all know how to score tries.
Yeah. Good price. I've gone a little bit more conservative. I had Tupanua in there, but I took him out just because I didn't want to double up. But I'll take Zachy Lomax at $2.55. Justin Olam, Mr. Manly. He loves taking them on. $2.20. And then Stephen Crichton for the Panthers served me well last week. I'll back him again, $2.10. And that is paying $11.78. So that's my trifecta for the week, mate.
Lovely. Well, fingers crossed, a couple of trifectas. Fingers crossed, another big round of results for us as well, Roasty.
100%.
I mean, we smashed it a few weeks ago. Law of averages. We fell back to the pack a bit during Magic Round, but then we nailed it again the following week. So look, if we do somehow go off the boil this week, don't panic. The law of averages would suggest, and our form line would suggest we'll be back next week in a big way. But I'm pretty confident. I think see a couple of upsets this weekend again, and hopefully we can tip 8 from 8 again.
100%. Let's hope the punting gods and the footy gods are in our favour this week. But as always, mate, it's a pleasure speaking to you this Wednesday morning.
Likewise.
And hopefully we give the punters some value. If we did, like we said at the start of the show, head to your podcast app, give us a rating, helps us out. Or share some of our stuff, get in the comments, mix it around. let us know your tips. Let us know your tips as well. What do you like this week when we put it out? So, but mate, all the best this weekend, and we will talk again next week.
You too, Roasty. Love you, mate. Gamble responsibly.
Thanks, mate. Talk soon.